Hey folks, David Stewart here. So here it is in all of its infectious glory, the Corona-chan Spreading the Love physical edition, bigger than my head and only $6.24. It's a huge anthology featuring the entire book that I wrote, Crown of Sight, along with a whole bunch of other authors, a full book by John Mollison, I believe. So you can check this out and buy it for $6.24 or still get the ebook for free and have a little bit of free entertainment. It's huge. How did I get this thing so cheap? I'd like to tell you how I managed to get this thing so cheap. This would be good information for those of you who are going to be using KDP print-on-demand services, which is what I do for my books. Because the truth is, these two books are the same price to print. This is because the KDP print-on-demand service, which used to be CreateSpace, and it's going to be pretty much the same thing for Ingram Spark, maybe with some little bit of variations. It costs the same to print a big book as it does to print a little book. These books are the same number of pages. So they charge you by the page, not by the trim size. So if you're looking to save on costs and put more words into a smaller space, because even though these are the same number of pages, cost the same to print, this one's like 6 or 8 times as long as this one. You can use a bigger trim size and pack more words into it. And that's exactly what I did with this anthology. It's also what I did with the huge Fantasy Christmas Spectacular, which is a little bit thicker than this one. There's just more words in this giant behemoth, but there's a ton of stuff in this one as well, about 200,000 words worth of stories and novellas by myself and the other authors. So if you use a bigger trim size, you can actually cut your costs down quite a bit. And the main reason I still do like 8x5s and 6x9s is that they are just the common size that people expect for books to be. If I were to take one of my longer books and put it in a really thin, like 8.5 by 11 like this, people might be think it's a little bit weird, even though it's really cheap for me to print, and I can obviously up my profits by cutting down the number of pages that I print. I have a feeling that a lot of consumers would be like, it just seems a little bit weird. It's not what I expect for books. So that's why I do the normal trim sizes for my other books, so that they kind of fit into what people expect for books, rather than being like almost booklets full of 2 columns of small words. So that's what you do. So if you get to an 8.5 by 11, if you need to make a big anthology, 2 columns is the way that you want to go. And once you get really, really spread out columns, then people can't read them very easily. You're going all the way across the page and then jumping down. So 2 columns really helps a lot with your interior formatting. And also I use a smaller margin, about a 1/2 inch, which really lets you use all of the page rather than like the 1-inch margins that are standard for an 8.5, 11 document that you might use on Microsoft Word. So that's how I managed to fit everything else in here. Now, the other reason it's $6.24 is that this is a 0 royalty book. I'm not making any money on this by selling this. So there's no royalties going to me or to the authors. We decided we were going to do the book for free. That's what we wanted to do. And so it's free. We're not getting paid. The $6.24 is pretty much the cost of Amazon printing it and having their small cut of profits, even though we don't really get any of the profits. So that's the other way that I can do that. So if you think about it, $6.24 is like the minimum amount of money that you can actually ship a book to somebody while making no money yourself for something this size. So if you're looking to make bigger books, that's one of the things that you can think about. You can up the trim size. It won't cost you any less to make an 8.5 by 11 compared to an 8x5 with the same number of pages. And of course, you can fit more words into it, which lets you cut down on the page cost and save a lot of money. So I thought I'd show this beautiful one to you too. By the way, my new book, Keys to Prolific Creativity, is out right now in physical and on ebook. It is $2.99 for the ebook. Pretty cheap, and I think it's $8 for the little 8x5 paperback. So please do check that out, and I'll have the audiobook coming just as soon as I'm able. There's a lot of things that end up slowing that process down. So if you're waiting for an audiobook, just be patient and it'll come eventually. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know what you think about this little detail down below. And I'll see you guys next time.